everyone, and welcome back to the Finance Zone. If you spent any time online in the past few days or seen any cable news, or if anyone in your immediate social orbit has done any of those things, you may have heard about something brewing related to the stock market and GameStop. If you're not a finance bro or someone who has recently seen The Big Short, though, it might be difficult to figure out exactly what the deal is. There's GameStop, but also AMC and Reddit. Robinhood has added new limits to its app to restrict users from buying or trading any of the popular Reddit WallStreetBets stocks, including GameStop, $GME, AMC, $AMC, BlackBerry, $BB, Bed Bath & Beyond, $BBBY, Nokia, $NOK, and more. Users will still be allowed to close out existing positions, but won't be able to buy more of the stocks. The company is citing recent volatility in the market as its reasoning behind the change. Robinhood's move followed similar freezes imposed by Charles Schwab and TD Ameritrade on earlier. Extraordinary trading volumes also prompted service disruptions across several brokerages as investors rushed to the heavily shorted stocks. Today we're going to be talking about Robinhood blocking GameStop, AMC, and more stocks from being purchased. Make sure to stay till the end to learn this amazing story. Robinhood will no longer allow users to buy or trade the most high-profile stocks that's been spiking in recent days due to an ongoing Reddit crusade. GameStop, $GME, AMC, $AMC, BlackBerry, $BB, Nokia, $NOK, and Naked Brand Group, $NAKD, are among those affected by the new restrictions on the popular app. Users are still able to close out their positions, but they can't buy more shares through the app as of Thursday morning. As Robinhood explained in a blog post on Thursday, recent volatility in the market led to the restrictions. We continuously monitor the markets and make changes where necessary. In light of recent volatility, we are restricting transactions for certain securities to position closing only, including AMC, BB, BBBY, EXPR, GME, KOSS, NAKD, and NOK. We also raised margin requirements for certain securities. Robinhood is one of the many apps and financial services companies that have either blocked users from buying these so-called meme stocks or are having technical difficulties this morning. Reports of Charles Schwab, TD Ameritrade, E-Trade, and others struggling to keep up with the surge have been floating around as well. The story, so far. This story is still evolving, but the best way to see it is to pick one company, GameStop, GME, and see how it became the center of a feeding frenzy. Note that much of what I say about GameStop could be said about AMC and BlackBerry, two other companies targeted in the most recent frenzy. A brief history. GameStop is a familiar presence in many malls in the United States, selling computer gaming equipment and games, and it built a business model around the growth of the gaming business. That business model ran into a wall a few years ago as online retailing and gaming pulled its mostly young customers away, causing growth to stagnate and margins to drop. Leading into 2020, the company was already facing headwinds and declining store count and revenues and lower operating margins. The company reported net losses in 2018 and 2019. The COVID effect. In 2020, the company, like most other brick-and-mortar companies, faced an existential crisis. As the shutdown put their stores out of business, the debt and lease payments that are par for the course for any brick-and-mortar retailer threatened to push them into financial distress. GameStop, a company largely made of brick-and-mortar stores, has been in dire straits thanks to the pandemic and general trouble in the retail world. A bunch of hedge fund guys, because of how the stock market works, were able to bet that GameStop will fail in a way that earns them money. A bunch of Redditors in a group called WallStreetBets then bought a billion gazillion GameStop shares in order to screw over those hedge fund guys. And they did it with apps like Robinhood that make it really easy to trade stocks. And now it's bleeding over into other threatened companies, including AMC and BlackBerry. Buying them costs money, but it's also like participating in a meme, which is why they're getting called meme stocks. Is this right? In recent weeks, users of Reddit messaging board called r/WallStreetBets decided that they would like to do something they've tried to do often in the past: mess with the big hedge fund trying to short a public company. In this case, they wanted to mess with the hedge fund attacking GameStop. the debt-mired retail chain that buys back video games from consumers and sells the used copies, alongside new and used game systems and controllers. GameStop isn't popular with the electronics and entertainment companies that develop the games and sell the systems, which are constantly pushing users to pay a little bit more, whether it's for nickel and dime extra features or subscription services, or by making users download games at prices they set rather than purchasing physical discs used. To gamers, who are a large and active part of Reddit, that makes GameStop the friend of the little guy. This all started when members of the popular subreddit r/WallStreetBets joined forces to drive up the stock price of GameStop, which had been heavily shorted by hedge funds. Robinhood allows users to buy stock without fees and has become one of the most important tools for those who are attempting to further sink the short sellers or want to try to make a quick buck. In fact, Robinhood is now the top free app on the App Store. Unsurprisingly, the r/WallStreetBets subreddit is furious about these restrictions, with virtually every post on the front page of the forum referencing Robinhood's decision to block all the stocks that they want to buy. Multiple posts that have threatened to file class action lawsuits against Robinhood are getting thousands of upvotes and comments, and others are claiming that Robinhood is participating in market manipulation. This will undoubtedly get more chaotic before it settles down. Yesterday, Discord banned WallStreetBets server on its service due to occasional content that violates our community guidelines, including hate speech, glorifying violence, and spreading misinformation. Discord ensured its users that the server wasn't banned for financial fraud related to GameStop or other stocks, but those who were affected by the ban aren't convinced. Washington teasing action on Reddit versus Wall Street. A number of Democrats and Republicans united in opposition this week to the strict limits imposed by Robinhood and other online stock brokerages of the purchasing of GameStop and other stocks swept up in a Reddit-fueled trading frenzy. Disparate members of Congress were among those who criticized the move, with many calling for hearings that Democratic leaders say will soon take place in both the House and Senate as what began as an internet movement continues to roil Wall Street. Lawmakers trained attention at the volatility surrounding GameStop's stock as several others this week. The stock climbed from only $4 a few months ago to more than $400 this week, juiced by an online movement not dissimilar to others that have broadly altered the political landscape in recent years. At the same time, hedge funds that made large bets on GameStop's stock cratering, known as shorting, began to pile up big losses. Then, the brokerages instituted limits, leading to charges of collusion with the larger financial entities facing big losses. Robinhood's co-founder, Vladimir Tenev, said hours after the change that it had no choice but to limit the stocks as it and its peers were forced by obligations imposed by federal regulators. The decision was not made on the direction of any market maker we route to or other market participants, he said, adding that notions to the contrary amounted to misinformation. For both progressive and more conservative members, there was a sense that the nation was watching a populist insurgency win out, however temporarily, against a so-called rigged system. Yet there is no broad consensus on policy goals to pursue in response to the brokerages limiting the ability for users to trade in the handful of stocks. Andy Sarabian, a Republican strategist, said people are probably underestimating how big of a moment this was, adding the episode likely did more to hurt big tech in the eyes of people who weren't already gunning for them than anything I've seen in recent history. Appearing to sense a shift in political winds, Robinhood listed a job Friday for a federal affairs manager to focus on federal advocacy and government affairs, dealing with laws and regulations. Like many of the forces shaping American politics in recent years, the Reddit forum r/WallStreetBets, which describes itself as like Fortune found a Bloomberg terminal, and its credit with originating much of the trading frenzy, sells the idea of the little guy taking on the big establishment. Amid a pandemic that has triggered a surge in retail trading, its audience has grown substantially in recent months. You know something is about to go down when most members of Congress are united over Wall Street trying to abuse us, one user wrote Thursday, linking to a tweet from Lou. Another wrote about how he was not particularly moved into entering the GameStop trade until it morphed into a class movement. The wild ascension of the GameStop traders has been cheered on by some of the world's wealthiest individuals like Tesla's CEO Elon Musk and the Winklevoss twins. Former President Donald Trump's eldest son, Donald Trump Jr., has also sought to cast himself as an ally of the Redditors. Interactive Brokers chairman Thomas Petterfy told CNBC Thursday the broker's decision was to protect the market and the clearinghouse, the body responsible for the trusted transfer of securities and funds between the buyer and the seller. Robinhood, however, has its own clearing system. The endgame. GameStop is a good investment. That may be a viable path if you bought GameStop at $40 or $50, but not if you paid $200 or $300 a share. GameStop remains a good trade. You may believe that given your numbers, as individual investors, you can sell the stock to someone else at a higher price. But to whom? You may get lucky and be able to exit before everyone else tries to, but the risk that you'll be caught in a stampede is high as everyone tries to rush the exit doors at the same time. In the next few weeks, if the regulators have their way, it will get more difficult to trade options and borrow money to buy shares. Thanks for watching. While you're here, go ahead and click one of these 2 videos on your screen. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. See you there, and thank you for watching.